The only thing that separates anybody from getting anything done exactly and precisely the way they want to get it done is budget.
Show me the money.
Question. I need a small website built. I don't currently have one. Can you help me out? The answer? Absolutely. Now, the question I have to everybody is, well, what's your budget? People don't like that question, but you really have to answer the question if you're coming at like an agency or a web developer or web designer with this big dilemma, okay? And it sounds small in your head. I just need a little website built. So could you build that for me? Quickly, do it. Here's the thing. There's branding, there's content, there's writing, there's photography, there's color palettes, there's, navigation, there's portfolios and blog posts, and there's a lot to it.
Show me the money!
In addition to that, there's a possibility. There's the possibility of digital advertising. There's the possibility of interfacing with social media. There's the possibility of, in the future, needing to showcase some videos. There's a lot, right? It's a lot. So what's a small website cost these days?
$1 million.
Small website should cost, if it's in a custom environment that's being done properly, that's not just taking the little website into consideration, but the most important things outside of the website. So you have all these little things that have to happen here, but what good is this standalone thing if no one can see it or find it? So you have to also consider at least Google and your Google My Business presence, and then connecting those two things and inserting Google Analytics into it so you can kind of track the traffic that you're getting, and make sure that you have thought about, if you plan on advertising at all, you'll want to connect all that stuff. So a Google account set up with Analytics, Google My Business, which you have to claim and go through a process with a PIN number if you haven't already done so. Things like this can be very messy. So, to harness all this stuff, to organize all that stuff, to hear all the information, to acquire the information, to acquire the photography, in addition to the setup and the hosting, and there's a lot, right? So $3,000, $4,000 in that zone will get you up and running into that place. Okay. Now, if you don't have that kind of budget, then chances are you're going to probably do it yourself, in which I would say in this day and age, just to go get a Squarespace website or something like that, $50 a month or something you can get away with. You're going to do it yourself. And when you get a Squarespace website, what you're going to find right out of the gate is that you can't put anything where you actually want it ever. So, you can't call someone to help you fix it. You can't say, hey, just move that. You'll understand the frustration of relying on code to drive what you see on the screen. Code places these things on the screen. This is, I think, a big disconnect with people who just want it done yesterday and don't understand the complexities of it all, is that ultimately code drives this display. Now, things like Squarespace and stuff like that, they don't let you really see the code. You can go in there and add some code and manipulate some stuff, but they've turned all this code into something visual that you can move stuff around. But code, in its necessity behind the scenes, prevents things from happening that you just want to have happen. I just want that picture here, and I want my copy here.
For the love of God!
And you just can't. It makes you crazy, and people get mad, and then what happens is they end up just never doing it. Or they try to get it done, and they have a bad experience with somebody because they expected it a certain way, or they expected it to cost a certain amount, and they didn't really understand the complexities of what was involved in getting all of that done. And so they got frustrated and then just bail on it. And then 3 years passes, and they're like, I'm going to get that website built, and then the same thing happens again, and it just never happens. So the reason why I have gotten a lot of work and continue to get a lot of work and continue to hold people close to me is because there are very few people, apparently, who do what I do well around here. A lot of claims are being made, but from what I'm seeing is it's very difficult to find someone you could just call up and be like, I need this to happen. And they could just make that happen for you. I have developed resources and I have a network of freelancers and coders if needed, or a lot of things I can take on my own. It's just a tough thing to find these days, And again, if I take a website from some old web team, your old web team, the existing web team, I'll often get into it and look at it and go, oh man, what a mess. Just a bad mess. And I clean up messes all the time. But again, what's a small budget? For me, it's in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. And that would be for like a legitimate business to get going, who's got like a body of work to show, or has, a reason to really have a solid professional looking web presence. And if you don't think it makes a difference, well, what happens when you go to the website and it looks all beat up, or you can't view it on your phone, or it's got outdated information, or if someone's trying to call you, but, because of COVID-19, things have changed, but there's no indication that anything's changed. I've actually seen that like a lot recently, is that everything went crazy and a lot of businesses just didn't tell anyone what was changing or what was different about their businesses. And so that's a huge mistake, because people literally genuinely don't know how to interface with businesses right now. And so the display of, what you have going on your website is like super important. So even if your website was just like, this is my logo and here I am, and this is what's going on now in COVID-19 times, that's going to be very helpful. Attach it properly, let people find you, let people call you, let people email you. And that's that. So, can I build a small site? Of course I can. Can I build a large site? Of course I can. Can I build an e-commerce website? Of course I can. The only thing that separates anybody from getting anything done exactly and precisely the way they want to get it done is budget. People don't like to hear that. It's a fact. That's the only thing separating you from having anything and everything done properly in life, right? What's the thing that separates me from flying a 747 privately? Budget. Damn it, man. I want to just fly that 747 privately, and I can't because of the stupid budget. What's separating me from having, Jerry Seinfeld play at my 46th birthday party? Budget. I can't afford $250,000 for this guy to stand here and tell me jokes. So you can get mad all you want. The bottom line is that in life, the only thing that separates anybody from anything that they want is the budget, generally, right? So it's the same thing. So if you only have a few $100, my advice, just go on Squarespace and do it yourself and just have the most relevant information up, but make sure you connect it to Google. And like the Google My Business thing is a pain in the ass. And claim it. Are you the owner? Yes, I'm the owner. Go through the steps. Take the phone call, get the PIN number, enter it in, make it right, get your hours right, get your information right. That's like so important. And then, and then entice people to review you, and magic happens from that point forth. But you've got to do those things. And so if you have a small budget, $3,000 up, can I do it for you? Yes. $3,000 or less. You might find a freelancer, or you might find, some luck with Wix or Squarespace. Those are good starting platforms to kind of test the waters. And generally, once you do, you're like, I just need someone to help me with this because I just don't have the time or the patience or the give a F to get this done properly. So that's it. Michael Baker Digital. I hope that helped, and I hope that I can help you if that's your question. Have a good one.